Jeremy here with the Racer number 2 update. A couple of things have happened since we last talked to you guys. One of the most aesthetically pleasing things is the exhaust. Worked really hard to get these lines to all flow together and be parallel with the bottom of the frame, the down tubes of the frame, and actually the front of the frame as well. One of the trickiest parts is getting this front cylinder out and around this this down tube, and that ended up being 3 different bends in one little spot, so that's a pretty tight exit. But I think overall it looks good. One thing we've changed up on this bike, you'll notice, is the rear controls, and that's to help seating position, because you kind of sit kind of crunched up. And I've had a lot of people on it so far. The feedback is really good. Right now I'm working on getting this final tab location for the exhaust, and then what will happen is this exhaust will come off, it'll get jigged so we can repeat it and not have to hand make this every time. After that, worked on the ignition plate side. If you want to come around this side, this is the number plate for the Racer, kind of the signature piece on this side. And basically I had to work on making, there's 3 different brackets involved here, and actually two for that are welded to the engine mount itself, and then 2 that are to the number plate, and the number plate ends up being a 3-piece design. You can pull this off for service and you'll have high-low beam switch here, and then on this side you'll have choke. We can pull the tank off and look at this a little closer for a different shot. So the Racer number plate side, you can see I worked on making this tab and this tab on this side that ends up holding your high-low beam switch and your choke switch. Come around this side. And that all gets hidden by this number plate. Will be removable. These 2 tabs end up kind of matching this radius. That radius allows you to actually get your finger in behind and be able to flip the fuel cutoff on and off. But this is the coil. Basically, originally was located right here. It takes up a lot of real estate by the valve cover, and this kind of frees up some of that visual space that gives you a little bit more of a focus on the engine kind of effect. Also, we'll end up putting custom spark plug wires that come out kind of neatly underneath this number plate, and they'll kind of just flow to each side. It'll be a real nice simple look. And then the last sneaky little part is the ignition key is going to be right underneath all that, so whenever you got a keychain hanging down, you have the nice little logo on it. They'll kind of all tie together. Also, another thing we have jigged up is the rear fender struts. The first set of them, as you can see here, I hand placed and made sure they're all straight and centered. But in order to move forward in the production process of this bike, we need to make a jig, so this kind of stuff is easier to make. So I just made a real simple little jig that you basically bolt your parts to and set your piece of 3/8 round stock in the middle, and that way each time we make them they'll be exactly the same. And those lined up perfect. They both fit on the same jig, and that was just kind of just a lot of guess and checking. But that's what I've been working on since we've last spoke to you guys. And we actually sent the rear fender off to paint and the Racer intake off to paint. So keeping the tank for now in order to position some of the electronics. That'll be the next thing, and battery mount. So battery mount and electronics will be next up.